Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my golly. Oh my golly gee. Oh my golly gee whiz. It's all happening, y'all. Hi. Welcome. It's time for more Citizen Sleeper. My name's Josh Kloss. I use they them pronouns, and we are on stream 6. That's 6 of Citizen Sleeper. Most playthroughs would be not as long as this, but we're doing the voices. And when you're doing the voices, it takes longer. And yeah. Let me just do that. Okay. We're gonna hop right in. We're gonna continue. Oh, we're 2 cycles away, y'all. Very exciting. I think the audio is a little hot. Let me adjust it. Let's try having it live right there. All right, so we need to let the seed grow, and we need to speak with Rabia. Where's my way down? Descender car. We're wrapping up a lot of plot threads. If you haven't been tuned in, there's probably a lot you're not gonna understand, unfortunately. Just checking some stuff there. Currently, we are waiting for some seeds we planted to grow, and we are going to unpack what happened with someone who was being used essentially as a puppet by the big bad corporation SNARP to spy on the group. And so we're not doing a lot otherwise. So we're just gonna take a nap. Ha-shoo, ha-shoo. That's the sound of sleeping. That's just gonna be a way for us to get some more mushroom. Which I don't really need, but it would be nice to have. That's gonna be another 3 cycles. Not a lot on the urgent side of things. I will say, ideally we will wrap things up by finishing this off, but I would like to save that for last if possible. Can I do anything here? I can be a weightless wanderer. Sure. Let's finish exploring up here. I think, yeah, that lets me get into the capsules and pay 48 to rent a capsule. Oofa doofa, that's expensive. I don't have that kind of money. But I will go work at Moritz's and get a random scrap item for my time and trouble. Oh, I can re-roll it, can I? I'm gonna get another one. Oh, I was incorrect, and I'm happy to be so. Alright. Oh, we've got to feed the stray. Good. Most important part of the game. Second most important part of the game. it's going to be 2 more turns down there. Fungal heal. 2 random rare mushrooms. 2 random rare mushrooms. 2 random rare mushrooms. Hang on. Sunbathe. Let's try it. Let's try it for once. Yeah, it's the same. Should I stabilize? I've got that stabilizer. I'm not going to need it. I'll hang on to it in case I need it. I know when I'll need it. I can buy more, but don't need it right now. Now we go check in. We don't check in yet. I've deceived you. I'm mischievous. My hair's doing stuff. I got out of the shower about an hour ago and it's just hanging on to that ideal. And like, I get it. This is the part where I needed to have stabilizer stockpiled because can't buy it right now. Lab shut down. I could synthesize some. Yeah, let's synthesize some club heads. Yeah. Yeah. Don't really need scrap. It's just a place I can crash. Thank you for playing. The DLC, I think, is coming in 4 weeks. And we will almost definitely dip back in for that. Because I'm certainly having a good time. And I would like to see the second part of that story. And eventually, hopefully, the third part of that story. Let's do a sunbathe. Yeah. Let's play some Tavla. Get some coin. Some cryo. Let's go ahead and stabilize now that I've got 2. I feel much safer doing that. Let's end a cycle. Let me see if this is time sensitive real quick. Wait a little bit. It's important, but it can wait a little bit. Even before you enter the office, you can hear the sound of Rabia working the heavy bag. She is hammering it, the chain creaking as it shakes with each hit. She's been like this since... Sabine doesn't finish the sentence. They're sitting on a stool looking at the terminal in the corner, searching through the SNARP data you pulled all those cycles ago. Is she okay? Just angry. We all are. But you have to remember she knew Yannick for a long time. Sabine glances nervously at Rabia. What SNARP did. Rabia stops punching, and in the silence you can hear her breathing hard. Sabine looks over at her, and you sense something between them. You realize you haven't seen them together since they tried to kill each other in the same unit. A lot has changed since then. They hooked him up like a puppet. Rabia hits the bag. Rigged that thing in his head so they could control him. Pushed the old Yannick out. I don't know why he let them in. Rabia throws a few more punches. But it's a lesson. Don't let them in. Another flurry. Yatagan shouldn't deal with corporations. And we never will again. She spits. She comes away from the bag. At least Yannick's death has been treated as natural. There's a chance we come back from this, that Yatagan can hold on. But there are opportunists trying to take control. Sabine turns to you. Yes, but now the connection has been broken. I've been looking at removing the trackers from the implants in Yatagan's enforcers. It's a significant job, but I think, with time, I can do the surgeries. Rabia walks away from the bag towards the far side of the unit. Those surgeries will never happen if Yatagan collapses, she shouts back at Sabine. Clearly this is a well-worn argument in this unit. Will Yatagan really collapse? I don't think so, no. Rabia doesn't either. They look over at her. At least not when she's calm. What I understand now is that Yatagan can be something if we want it to be. Coming here from Essenarp, from the core worlds, all I saw was a gang. And with Yannick keeping me on a tight leash, they shudder. Rabia believes, and I want that belief. They look unsure. I also want to be done with Essenarp, but I doubt they are done with me. They glance away, rubbing their shoulders. I mean, I don't even need to ask this. They're obviously an item, so I'm just going to say, I hope you're right. Me too, they smile. I've been wanting to say, Sabine begins nervously. I'm sorry that I didn't tell you where I came from. I know I've apologized before, but I want to again. They pause. Properly. When I leaked the data on the sleeper program, it was to try to help people, like you. They grit their teeth. But after all the cycles here, being pushed down, pushed around, trying to survive, all that got away from me. So when you turned up, they sigh. It shook me up. They run a hand through their hair. But I ended up here. So, they look at Rabia. Oh, of course. They reach into a pocket and take out a handful of vials. These are the last of the case. You can have them. They drop them into your hands. After these last few, I don't know what we can do. With the SNR connection broken, they look down. But I know there are other ways. Repairs, other pharmaceuticals. I even heard there are some labs out on the Greenway. Perhaps they can help? They meet your eye. I'm sorry I can't do more. Thank you for everything. They look away, their eyes bright with tears. Rabia crosses back to you both and sits beside Sabine. They look at each other, and you can't help but smile at the idea of them together. What are you two plotting? Rabia grins. Sabine laughs. Take that one again. Sabine laughs, and the sound is a welcome one. You watch the two of them teasing each other and smile. Later, when you leave, you take out that handful of vials out of your pocket and look down at them. You can still feel that core of anger deep down inside, and you don't know if it will ever leave. But SNARP doesn't own you anymore. They can't, because this place, these people, own you. They are what makes you get up every cycle. They are what keeps you breathing. You put the vials away and walk through the low end, your senses tuned to every sight, every smell, and every sound, soaking it all in. Living. So we got 3 stabilizer, we got an upgrade, interface and engage. We'll hold off on that for a little bit. We planted a seed and we're letting it grow. You know what? Let's just get some cash. Let's get some money. Let's play some cash or trash. I might lose some here. Am I on a hot streak? Pretty hot streak. A warm streak. That's 2 more. I might just do this, maybe work the farm. Steal the harvest. No. Not gonna do that. That would be morally reprehensible. Do one at the commune. Negative outcome. You still, it's fine. I haven't done this before, so we'll see what happens. Riko has something in her hands when you enter the lab. It looks like a knotted twist of woody stems, a ring about the circumference of a human head, consisting of a single stalk at one side and a branched, woven network at the other. As you approach, she holds it up, and in the lights of the lab, it looks like a crown. Riko finishes your thought. She smiles and shakes her head in disbelief. Is that what grew? It is. I came to the plant this morning, and this loop was all that was there. She points to a lump on the edge of the ring. The seed grew right back into itself, twisting up out of the soil. That being you encountered in the cloud, as you call it, was it wearing one of these? She eyes you suspiciously, still unsure if she is somehow embroiled in an overlong prank. No. She sighs. I suppose that would be too easy, she smiles to herself. A root crown. She places the object on the bench and shuffles to her analysis terminal, her face lit by its amber light in the dim corner of the lab. Well, it isn't exactly a plant anyway, not from what I can tell. She gives you a serious look. No leaves, no chloroplasts, just a series of filaments encased in cellulose walls. How did it grow? It seems the seed contained everything it needed. A self-contained entity, nothing less. She beckons you over. But that isn't the good part. Look at this. You see a cross-section scan of the crown, its layers of plant-like structure on full view, until you reach the center. There, instead of xylem and phloem, for transporting nutrients, something branched and woven glints. Are those wires? She laughs. I'm not sure whether to say yes or no here. These are not wires like those in an electrical system, no, but they are filaments of a conductive material. So, yes? She leans closer to the screen. But, you see those branches? They remind me of dendrites, of neurons. She rubs her eyes, which is, frankly, ridiculous. You look back at the crown on the table as Riko fusses over the scans, and you suddenly realize what it reminds you of. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. Then you remember the crown they fitted you with, the branching structure of wires and pads. No, not a crown. They called it an interface. The tool of your emulation, your transference from neurons to electrons, an interface. That is your gift from the gardener. You turn back to Rico. It's an interface. Rico looks at you, puzzled. Something clicks in her mind. Something she had heard from the sleeper she had helped all those cycles ago. She starts talking, partly to you, partly to herself. If the club heads were made for you, then this too could be made for you. For your frame. She shuffles over quickly to the interface, a word that has stuck to the strange branched object quickly in your mind. You're right. That entity, it is the entity I have been looking for. She shuffles quickly to the crown. They are the entity which is controlling the Greenway, which has been maintaining it, supporting it, and has been guiding it for all these decades. She stops to catch her breath. They want to talk to you. With you. Rico leads you to a seat. I will be here, Sleeper. If something happens, if you wish me to remove the crown, the interface, just squeeze. She grips your hand tightly. You meet her eyes, clouded with age, but bright with the thrill of new discoveries. Then she places the interface on your head and everything blinks out. Back into the river, back into the dark flow. But something is different somehow. You are no longer pushed, no longer blocked and buffeted by the swarm, by the storm. Instead, it flows around you. You move, and it parts, letting it pass. And it parts, letting you pass. Something else resists, but it gives easily enough. You look back and see your body. You have left it behind. Somewhere Rico's voice is talking to you, asking you questions. It is excited, eager, desperate to know what lies on the other side, what the entity has to say to you. You realize how long she has waited for this moment, for the moment of meeting between the inhabitants of the Greenway and its protector, and yet she is still on the outside. You shake off the sadness. You will be her eyes. Then you see the figure, Gardener, out in the storm, planting. It takes less than a moment to reach them. You have never felt so free. This is how Navigator must have felt, released from their prison. This, you think, is what it feels like to be in the place you were built to inhabit. Gardener does not turn at your approach. They go on planting, but their voice whispers in the waters like a sharply rising current. You grew the gift. Their speech hisses around you. Good. I am glad. I wanted to meet you. Then we are the same. Both eager shoots seeking one another. How does it feel to be free of your seed? They stoop to plant again. My seed? That in which you were contained, from which you will grow. There was some disagreement, continues Gardener, as if you were picking up on a long-held conversation. With the others, they felt you were a danger, but they are always cautious, especially the fungi. They like old loam, known knowns, wide and stable networks. The fungi were cautious? Mostly, yes. Although there are many among their number who favor short growth cycles, thick nutrient veins, and sudden shifts. He gestures out into the storm, and though you cannot see them, you feel presences all around, sensing this audience with great interest. After all, they understood that it was I who made them their crowns, and without them they would not have joined the chorus. So they see that it is only fair that you get your chance to join too. Join? Yes, become part of this. Gardener stoops again. We are millions, and we grow. I hope you understand. I am unused to speaking to your kind. It has been Many cycles since my last conversation. I think it was with Chief Executive Trellick himself. You look around and you see it. Every growing thing, every non-human being in the Greenway is here. They are networked, connected, branched and linked by this strange being, this artifact of the old station. This impossible dream of a senile farm administration AI. A living network. You could dissolve here, you realize, free of that decaying body. You wouldn't need to be a person. Why would you among all these other minds? You turn away from Gardner for a moment and look back at your body. A tiny hairline thread connects it to you. You hear Rico's voice again, still asking, still checking in. Are you okay, Sleeper? What are they saying, Sleeper? Are you still there, Sleeper? Something in you sighs a long sigh. A sigh that speaks of an exhaustion beyond tiredness. An exhaustion rooted deep inside you. It stems from the effort of answering questions, of answering problems, of getting up and breathing each cycle. But something else resists the sigh. A yearning, a sense of distance, a desire to squeeze that hand that holds you for its warmth, its blood, its complexity, to make a gesture that says, I'm still here. I'm still alive. I'm with you. The two ideas spin within you, making you nauseous. If you break that thread, you will be free. Free to dissolve here, to grow strange and beautiful. To grow strange and beautiful among a million others. If you follow it, if you squeeze Rico's hand, you will wake up back in that dying body with all the pain and warmth that entails. Now is the moment to choose. Break the thread intrigues me, but we have one main objective we cannot forget, and we can't follow that objective if we break this thread. Your eyes track the thread across the whirling dark back to your body. This choice, you realize, will not be presented again. Follow it. You don't look back at Gardner. You don't dare risk it. Instead, you follow the thread delicately, carefully, like a diver following their lifeline back to the surface. The river whirls around you, but it doesn't pull. It isn't jealous. Neither does it understand. It is, after all, just a river. It isn't a person, a flesh and blood person, with wants and desires, with the capacity for love and hate. It doesn't understand you, and you don't understand it. So you don't focus on it. You don't think about it, on what feels like such a long journey back through the dark. You set your mind on eyes instead, on hands, things you can focus on, hold on to. And then, after an age of crossing, you are there, settling back into the chair, into a body in a chair, and the overwhelming sensations that come with being a living thing with a rich and detailed sensorium. For a moment, you feel like you have made a terrible mistake. Who would choose this weight, this anxiety, this deep well at the center of existence? But then you feel it. Rico's hand gripped hard around yours, trembling a little, sweating a little. Rico's hand with its brittle bones and crumpled skin. Rico's hand. And in that moment, you understand why you made this choice. And then you squeeze Rico's hand, and you wake up. It's Drackley! Drackley, we technically just hit credits, but it's an intermediate credits. Welcome in. We just had the chance to go and hang out with a network of plants and instill our consciousness in there, but We got buds we gotta talk to. Sleeper, Rico's voice comes wavering through the dark. Are you still with me? You sit up, the lab a bright green glare that fades as you gather yourself. I'm here. Rico smiles. Good. She squeezes your hand. I thought you'd left me for a moment. What? She pauses. Who? She smiles. Tell me about it. Tell me everything. I'm gonna tell her the truth. You tell Rico everything. You tell her about the gardener, that strange farm administrator AI that has grown to be so much more. About the chorus, that impossible configuration of networked plants, and finally about the choice the gardener offered you. She listens attentively, but her responses are hard to read, and you wonder if she might have made a different decision had she been in your place. Well, she doesn't have to take care of Mina, so she could have made that choice, but I had to make mine. Thank you, Sleeper, for telling me. I know it isn't easy to say such things. People so often do not wish to hear strange truths. She looks away. And thank you for returning to me, though I know you had your own reasons. She squeezes your hand reassuringly. Something passes between you then, a kind of shared sadness for the impossible choice. The choice to escape your body or to stay and suffer it. Her smile is warm and generous, and whatever the wisdom of your choice, you are glad to feel welcome in this moment, in this place. Then, suddenly, she stands and walks a little away, as if trying to escape an unpleasant thought. You worry that she knows all too well what it takes to make a choice like you did. Rico sighs. So, Sleeper, do you plan to stay in the commune with us? For certain definitions of a while. For a while. I'm glad to hear it. Rico crosses back over to you and takes one of your hands in both of hers. Haifa needs new blood if it wants to survive. And, she squeezes, you are a good friend. The feeling is mutual. Well, don't let me keep you. Rico waves you away and limps back to her terminal. As she does, you notice the crown in her hand, and she places it on the bench with great care. You can't help but feel a little curious about what she intends to do with it. Then you are out, breathing the air of the Greenway, fresh as a spring morning. The dappled light makes a patchwork of the greening landscape as you walk into it, sensing the movements of the gardener's chorus all around. And you are glad to be here, in this strange and beautiful place, a little longer. It's still spooky. It's still a spooky one. There, I can do that. I think we're at proper end game. No active drives. That button. Let me make sure this is just yeah. Okay. We're gonna scout the dock. Quite the achievement, isn't she? Sandra Celis must be proud. You recognize the resonating voice of Castor immediately, and turn to see him, hooded and tucked into the shadows near the viewing platform. Castor? I see you remember our game. Good. He looks around, but the platform is clear. I'm afraid you'll have to wait for a rematch. Microgravity makes Tavla a little difficult. He smiles broadly. Castor walks out to stand beside you on the platform. The telltale clunk of magnetic boots accompanies his slow crossing. He notices you looking at them. I don't much like it up here, he explains. I hear there was some trouble at the Havenage shipyard when they announced the results of the crew lottery. They screwed us. I know, he sighs, meeting your eyes. An ugly business. Celis are too used to the way things work in the core. Exploitation is the only logic they know. He gestures out at the sidereal. Do you know why they built this monstrosity on the Eye? Control. Certainly, there is no corporate oversight out here. But that's not all. He stares out at the pristine yellow hull. Celis built it here, says Castor gravely, because they didn't want anyone to know it exists. He rubs his forehead. And secrecy is something I cannot abide. He turns to face you. There are people being loaded onto that ship as we speak. Sleeping people, locked in cryosleep like the person that you were emulated from. There are hundreds of them, and Celis wants to send them out to a planet at the edge of the settled systems without anyone knowing where it is. But you, Sleeper, can do something about that. You are like me, you deal with data. You can read it right out of the air. With someone like you on that ship, secrecy isn't a problem. You can ping back whatever I need whenever I need it, as long as you are on board. With you on the sidereal, and with some minor modifications, he pauses, you can be my eyes and ears. I will keep track of Celis's grand project through you. In short, says Castor, stretching, I can get you aboard, Sleeper. But I am going to need you to help me. Who are you? I am a concerned party. Someone who likes to know what is happening when it is happening, not afterwards. It's not just me. Yes, your friend Lem. That can be arranged. It is difficult, but not impossible. The condition is, of course, that you go too. Castor clunks closer to the window, watching the tugs wheeling around the sidereal. It's a simple offer, and the only one that will get you on that ship. Please consider it. He turns back, silhouetted against the ship. But to make it happen, I need your assistance, as I said. There is a Celis Foundation ship docked in the now empty shipyard. I need the data from its servers. This will allow me to produce the IDs necessary for your transit. Castor looks over his glasses at you. Celis aren't stupid, though. Their ship is totally isolated from the station. You'll need to get on board if you want access to their air-walled servers. Once you have the data, meet me at your friend's unit so we can give him the good news. He smiles. I noticed his importance to you. And the little one. So cute. You don't extract the data before the Sidereal Horizon leaves the hub, then I will get the message. We have other options, but you're certainly my preferred one. But be sure when you act, Sleeper. Once you take the data from the Celis, you'll set off a series of events that will likely be hard for you to untangle yourself from. Either way, I recommend you stop asking around up here. You are bringing a lot of attention to yourself. Castor glances around as if to emphasize his point. There are only a handful of cycles until departure, Sleeper. Make your decision. With that, Castor marches back off the platform, the sound of his mag boots fading away, leaving you to contemplate the Sidereal Horizon and the part it may play in your future. Hey, look, a ship. Let's bluff past security. Hey, I should totally be on here. Don't worry about me. We do know that guy. He is... Short answer is he's an information broker. We don't know a lot about him, but we do know him. This doesn't really matter, so let's just go ahead and do that. Neutralicum. We got the data. When you arrive at Lem and Mina's unit, Castor is already waiting outside, leaning beside the door. Forgive me, Sleeper, but Celis is already buzzing with news of the breach. I was expecting you. Will this work? Don't worry, the breach cannot be traced to the specific IDs I'm about to create. Castor reaches into a pocket and produces a sleek green and white hand terminal. The data, please. What is that? Something I acquired from Celis while you were busy on that ship. Castor pushes up his glasses. I haven't been waiting for you the entire time. It was this cycle. It was this cycle. You were quick. You hand over a drive with the data, and Castor fishes around for a converter cable to hook it up. He slots it into the terminal, and after some whirring, a set of 2 transparent films, marked with numeric sequences, are produced. 2 tickets to an uncertain future. Castor smiles to himself. The child will go with Lem, of course. He pockets them. These are yours, but first, he holds out a white cube. Your side of the deal. What is it? Something to help us make use of you. He passes you the square and you rest it in your palm. A small, white, perfect cube. Suddenly you feel a sharp pain and flinch. The cube jumps from your hand and rattles along the walkway. You look at Castor apologetically. Castor smiles. Not to worry. It has done its job. Now it is time for you to do yours. You look down and see a tiny pinprick in the center of your palm. Nothing sinister. Castor puts the terminal away. This way we can keep track of you and the sidereal horizon. I didn't agree to this. You did, Sleeper. Castor adjusts his glasses. You have to understand that I could have done this without you knowing. This way everything is on the table, so to speak. Castor hands you the transparent films, and you see shimmering portraits of you and Lem flickering beneath the surface. Go. Give them the good news. And he reaches across and buzzes the unit. Lem slides the door open, half-dressed in his gear. Sleeper, what brings you here? Come in. He beckons you inside. You look to the side, expecting to see Castor, but the wall is empty. The unit is cleaner, better organized than last time. Lem sits at the thin bar and gestures for you to sit. Mina's with some of the local kids. Someone has started doing lessons down the way. She seems to like it. He offered me a seat. I'll take a seat. You sit at the bar. What's up, Sleeper? Do I want Mina here for the big reveal? I don't want to hide it from Lem. And I want Lem to be able to tell Mina. I have some news. Out with it then, Lem laughs. My hair's doing stuff. Hold on. Sure. I have Celis IDs for us. You have... Lem freezes. How? He blinks rapidly as if to wipe you from his vision. Does this mean? Yep. Lem stands and paces around the unit. We have to pack. He starts laughing. Holy shit, we have to pack. He turns back to you, smiling. How the hell did you swing this, Sleeper? I made a deal. What a deal? Color me impressed. You show him the ID films, and he whistles at the portraits. Impressive stuff. He pats you on the shoulder. You should stay until Mina gets home. We can tell her together. Of course. Obviously. Sure. The buzzer goes. That'll be her. Lem gets up and opens the door, and Mina, a bundle of energy and life, rushes into the room. Robot! She shouts. Lem picks her up. Mina, you won't believe what they brought us. You flash her the passes, and she looks confused. We are going away after all, Meanie. He lifts her up above her head. On that big, beautiful ship. Mina screams and Lem laughs. He puts Mina down, and she runs over to you and hugs your legs. I love you, Robot, she says quietly, so only you can hear. What even is this choice? I'll tell you what it is. It's not a choice. I love you too. And a while later, when you leave, you don't even think to check for Castor by the door until it's too late. You stop and turn halfway down the walkway, but there's nothing there. Even that little white cube is gone. So you keep walking, back through the low end, deep in thought. Excited and scared all at once. We've got 8 cycles to wait, y'all. So here's the thing. I genuinely think I've done all of the plot. So we're just going to be chilling for the next 8 cycles because we've done all the things. We will sunbathe. Get that energy back up. But this will not be the most compelling video. We've got to feed the stray though. I don't want to leave. I did want to leave because I don't get the option until I leave. Which makes sense. You don't want to accidentally click end cycle after you just woke up. That would be an oopsie. That would be what we call an oopsie. Yeah. Some days you get up, maybe sunbathe a little, maybe. And then you just end that cycle. Ooh. Feeding the stray doesn't do anything, I don't think. It just... what I feel should morally be done. That one just wasn't feeling it. I'm gonna feed the stray twice because I think that's our ticket out I just heard, but I could be wrong. Nope, one more. You know what? We're gonna stay in the rent-a-capsule. There we go. Let's go ahead and stabilize. Sunbathe a little bit. There is a crowd, but you spot Lem and Mina immediately as you enter the dock. They're waiting at the cordon, where Celis security are checking the crew in to board the ship. Those that managed to get up to the hub are crowded near the entrance, but even they know their chance of getting on board has long gone. Lem! Lem spots you among the crowd. Sleeper, we are here. They're standing beside a bag which looks to carry all the possessions they have. It is small enough to be carried in one hand. Only one choice. Only one choice here. Hi, Mina. Mina is vibrating with excitement. She seems strangely at home in microgravity, but then you remember that she has spent her whole life in space. Hi, robot! You hand over the Celis ID film to Lem, keeping your own. He turns it back and forth in the light. Where did your friend even get this picture, Sleeper? Looks like my old Conway ID. You look, and a shimmering, younger Lem stares out of the film, harder and clean cut. I spoke to the guard here. He nods to the white and green clad security officer. They'll be doing orientation and role assignment on board. Sounds like we are going to be working under the core crew. Kind of like an intern. He laughs. What do you think, Meanie? Am I too old to be an intern? Following Lem's lead, you inspect your ID. As you lift the film up to the light, you see something strange. Something that makes you flinch. The face printed in the film is one you recognize immediately, but it is not you. At least it is not how you look now. You squint at this ghost, confused why you hadn't noticed earlier. It is a picture you don't remember being taken, a memory that you didn't know you had. You remember signing the forms, the walk to the sleeper tanks, the cold metal floor. You remember the SNARP employee who helped you in, her smile clean and surgical. You freeze in place, thinking of the you that still sleeps somewhere in an SNARP facility that won't wake up until you are recovered and disposed of. And now you are leaving. Will they ever wake up? Sleeper, Lem interrupts your thoughts. These guys want us to board. You stare at him without thinking, then notice the guard gesturing to you both to come forward. You all kick off and float over to them, steadying yourselves on the guardrail. You hang back, letting Lem present his ID film first. The guard slides it across a white machine, much like the one Castor printed them from. You reflexively rub the puncture mark on your hand, even though there is no trace of it now. It seems to be your destiny to be someone else's tool. Aubrey's here and Aubrey wants me to hydrate. You better believe I'm going to hydrate. Aubrey, what you've missed. We caught up with Rabia, I believe is her name. Let me see if I can pull it out of here. Yeah, Rabia and Sabine. And basically discussed that Yadigan was in a little bit of shambles after the puppet was no longer puppeting, but managed to get a little confidence that things were going to be okay eventually. And the gardener over in the Greenway, the AI, connected with us and was like, hey, do you want to just sort of be a floating AI entity like me, just sort of hanging out here? And that was real tempting, but we've got to remember our main objective. And our main objective is on screen right now, and that's Mina. We cannot neglect the Mina. And so, we acquired some fake IDs from Castor after doing a little work for him. And now we're boarding along with Lem and Mina on the Sidereal. That's your executive summary. We're all caught up now. The guard slides it across a white machine, much like the one Castor printed them from. You reflexively rub the puncture mark on your hand, even though there is no trace of it now. It seems to be your destiny to be someone else's tool. Lem and Mina are waved through, the guard smiling at her excited face. Lem turns back to check you are coming. The guard beckons you closer. Of course I'm going to board. You shake off your doubts and hand over your ID film. The guard barely looks at it as they pass it through the scanner and wave you through. A new life built from old things. You okay? Lem asks. concerned as you catch up with him. You are so slow, robot, Mina teases, grabbing at you with small hands. I'm good. Lem nods, and you realize how much harder it must have been for him to cross that threshold. Mina struggles in his arms, trying to get it to you, and Lem relents, struggling with both the bag and his daughter. Mina tumbles through the microgravity and grabs onto your clothes for purchase. Pulling herself into your arms, you all proceed up the walkway, the entrance to the docking bridge yawning wide in front of you. Are we family, robot? Mina asks as you move, taking you by surprise. I guess so. Mina smiles and presses her head against your chest, pleased by your answer. You keep moving, up into the docking bridge, then along that thin, glass-walled connector, all the time Mina clutching onto you. The lack of gravity means you can't feel her weight, only the grip of her small hands on your clothes. You both stare wide-eyed at the vast hull of the sidereal horizon and try to think of this huge machine as a home. Later, when you settle into your bunk, after Mina has finished running back and forth between you and Lem with an endless and infectious excitement, you find yourself looking at your ID film once more. Somehow, since the last time you looked at it, the image seems to have changed. It is still a picture of the old you, the person that signed up to have their consciousness copied and placed into the ownership of SNARP. But something else has crept into the image, an underlying sense of self-identification. This is also a picture of you now. The you that survived the eye, that made friends here, that found a way out, that escaped against all odds. The other you might never wake up. They might never live again. But so be it. They consigned you to a doomed life for their own gain. Their life is yours now. You will live it better than they ever could. You lie back on your bunk as the thrust of the sidereal's vast engines kick in. This feeling, this rumble, will be your constant companion for the next decades. It will be there when you work, when you watch Mina grow, when you dream of the planet at the end of the journey. It will stay with you when your body starts to fail, despite the best attempts of Lem and Mina, and as the years stack up, and it exceeds its safe operating period by a decade. It will be the thing you wake up to in those rare moments of consciousness, between which Mina will keep you in a frozen state in the hope of preserving you until your destination is reached. It will still be there when Mina wakes you, tears in her eyes, and tells you of Lem's inevitable death. And it will not relent, despite your desire for a moment of silence. It will be the final thing you hear, as Mina shuts down all but the most vital of your functions, and hopes beyond hope that you will make it to your final destination, all the while doubting that you will. But for now, in this moment of departure, it is still a new sound, a new feeling, and because of this, it is filled with the promise of the future. And so, you settle back on your bunk and close your eyes, and in moments you are sleeping a perfect, dreamless sleep, the most peaceful that you can ever remember. Got a little teary there. That's a video game. That's a video game, y'all. Oh, it's so good. It's such a good video game. It's a very sad ending, but like I'm not mad about it by any means. It's the good kind of sad. It feels fulfilling to me. We got to help Lem and Mina. The implication is they had, for me, they had a good life working on the ship. And compared with what they were doing on the Eye, I think that's a happier ending for them. Gah. What a good video game. We became a family. That's absolutely right. And we've got to hydrate to recover. Oh, what a good video game. My goodness gracious. And we do need to hear from Dusa. Let's see what Dusa has to say. What did you think of that, Dusa? Something needs cleaning up. Let's try a take 2.
You can count on me.
You can count on Dusa. You can count on Dusa. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do real quick. I'm a little bit rusty on this, but I want to do it. I currently hold, it's not a strong competition, so it's mildly impressive. I hold the world record for speedrunning this game. I need to check that. We heard from Dusa. There we go. I'm going to try and do that real quick and get to that ending we just reached. And it should be about, I'm going to say 13 minutes. Don't know for sure. We'll see. I'm gonna leave this one so we can keep going with the DLC when it's available. We do want operator. I'm not even gonna pull up the timer. This is a very casual thing, and if it is a record, we can go back and time it manually later, but we gotta go fast. Okay, here we go. Oh, already messing it up. Here we go. We've got to go fast is the thing. Hi, Dragos. Remember Dragos, everyone? If you don't, that's fine. Those dice are okay. We need to start by working in the yard. Do this. Still haven't fixed it. Wonderful. All right, what order of things do I do this? I know I want to do this. Start that. Good. So I can talk to the dock. Get that started. Talk to Emphis, so I have access to food. And we start working at the shipyard. So what I'm doing is I am putting in a die that I want to have the value of, and then as it is being used, I replace it with a die I want to get rid of, and it consumes that die but gives the value of the good die. I stumbled onto that by accident one day, and it is the key to making this run broken. Mina! Thank goodness. We've met Mina. Don't need food. We're good. Okay. It's very tricksy. And I have told the team via Twitter, so they said they're going to fix it. Maybe with the next DLC they will. Who knows? I'm in no rush. We want systems, yes. So we put the 6 in, replace it with the 3. The 3 gets consumed, but it's like we did a 6. There's a little bit of finesse to it, but... And this is not nearly the fastest I can do it. I'm being a little bit loose because I'm not... Oh, those are bad dice. I'm not in my form, and that's okay. Hey, Fang. Let's do this. These are a little bit risky, but they should be okay. Yeah, we got a neutral. We need one more neutral. We got a neutral. Continue. Here's the rabbit. I want to give her the rabbit. Okay. I want to eat in a second. How much is the toll? 60 I can do. It does auto-select the first responses. I could do it manually, and if I was in full focus mode, I would be doing it a bit more selectively because first option is not always the fastest option, but I'm just mashing through it in these cases because that's easier. Hi, Fang. Good to end the cycle. Oh, that way. Get rid of the 3. Perfect. I need a little food. Pick up a stabilizer while I'm here. Upgrade point. Yeah. Not going to use the upgrade point. Not time efficient. Ooh, those are some awful dice. Simply dreadful. Take that though. Oop. It's fine. Still fine, but a little worrying. There we go. Now we want some more stabilizer. the fact that those weren't all positive outcomes, I would have restarted this run by now. I mean, I'm never minding technique-wise. That's not the way to do it the fastest. If I really wanted to be the fastest, which right now, it'd be nice. And so now we need to wait for that, which I now recall. Yeah. We are not full of food, but that's okay. We leave, we go back. We talk to Dragos. Three more. Oh no, we didn't get picked. What are we gonna do? Also, what about that clock that just filled up? Oh well, I'm sure it's fine. Oh, it's Ethan. Oh no. What am I gonna do? One more after this and I can head on up. Yeah, I actually want to go eat. I had forgotten that I wanted to go eat. I think 13 minutes was a little generous. I'm not bringing my A game, and that's okay. I'm just having fun with it. Sometimes it's good to have fun with video games. They won't tell you this on the internet, but it's good to have fun with video games. Oh, it's Castor. Bluff, 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 bluff. I know, it's controversial, but I think sometimes it's good to have fun in video game. Once in a while, you may permit yourself to do so. Or you may permit yourself to do so. Is that anything? I might actually get the data. And then we need to wait, is it 6? 7. Alright, this place is clean. It's good to know. Good to know this place is clean. Dragos, you got things to say to me. 4 more, I think. But we need to meet with Ethan, who will take our money because we didn't go and pay off his tab. Oh, what a sad baby. Oh no, we didn't pay off his tab. 3 more? It'll tell us if we can't snooze anymore, so just going with it. Just going with it. I think that's it, but it'll tell me if it is. No, not quite. 1 more, I think. My condition is bad. It is declining. But I'm going to be on ship soon. Oh, I'm breaking. Oh, no. Oh, no. What will I do? Hopefully I'll get on ship. Yeah. Call out. Call out again. Lem! Lem! So, that's a game. Going that route, and I could have slowed down and run through that a little bit slower, you only get 1 ID because you have not befriended Lem and Mina. And so you can either choose to take it for yourself or you can give it to Lem and Mina to go off on their own. So boarding for yourself is actually a little bit faster, but I decided to give it to Lem and Mina so that they could go experience their space adventure together. Because I would rather send them to a happier life than abandon them to the eye. That feels more right to me of those 2 options. But the ending we got in the normal speed playthrough, going with them, that's the best one in my opinion. So yeah, that's how quick you can beat the video game. I could use that upgrade point, but it's not worth it. Continue puts me back on the station, but we're gonna say goodnight to Citizen Sleeper. A strange choice. You decided to let people do things. Imagine the look on Mina's face when she sees Celes 1 for the first time. Imagine the excitement when she first touches its soil. The joy when she first stands outside in the rain laughing. Those images, though they will not happen for decades, are what will carry you through this cycle and perhaps the next one too. It's very good. Oh, it's very good stuff. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to get a little ambient music for this. We've still got about an hour and a half of normal stream time. And I had said, once we finish Citizen Sleeper, we're going to pick up with Suikoden 2. I don't have the case ready to model immediately, so we'll show it off. When I come back from a short stream break to both separate this stream from the next stream, and also so I can go bathroom. Don't tell nobody, but I'm gonna go bathroom. Thanks for keeping that secret. With this much hydration, it has a destination. It's true because it rhymes. Okay, but yeah, we'll be back in like, let's say 5 minutes. That sounds good to me. Hopefully my capture card will be cooperative, in which case it might be closer to like 7 minutes, but we'll be back. And I hope you'll be back also. for more video games. But this has been Citizen Sleeper. I think it's clear, absolutely one of my favorite games of the past decade. Top tier. Please play it. Please play it. Please tell people about it. It's not underground, but it is not getting the love it deserves. And I'm doing my part to motivate that. But if someone you know who likes a good narrative heavy video game is looking for one, Citizen Sleeper, baby. That's all I have to say about that. And we'll be back when episode 2 drops. Now I'm actually gonna go bathroom. Bye.